Hi everybody, welcome. In this video, I'm going to talk you through how to set up and lay out an auxiliary view drawing in Inventor. So let's go take a look. What I'm going to do here is first go back and take a look at the assignment. And in the assignment, I'm looking at this particular object number 1. And it's important to take note and actually read some of the information here on the assignment where it says draw partial top view. And you can see it's requesting a broken view here, or a cropped view with a break line. At the same time, it's also saying draw partial auxiliary view, and we're going to be pulling the auxiliary view from this angled surface to this position. And we'll only draw a partial view as it's requested. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and start setting this up in Inventor and show you how to set it up and create these views. So as I jump here in Inventor, you can see that I've already set this up once before. So I'll be able to go through and walk you through the process of how to get to this point. So we'll go ahead here, and I'm going to go ahead and right-click in this area and create a new sheet. Once I create that new sheet, I'm going to be able to set up that drawing. I'm going to come up to my base view. From the base view, we'll go and find wherever I have that particular drawing saved on the server, or if you're working on your desktop. Now that I have this, I'm going to set this up so my scale is set properly, and I'm going to rough position this where I want my front view to be. I'll then pull up, and I will then go ahead and drop what will become my top view, and now I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. I've created the two views that are being requested in the specific multi-view drawing portion of this assignment, and now I need to create that partial auxiliary and then also do some cropping. So let's jump back in here. And to create an auxiliary view, what I'm going to do is I'm going to head up here to the ribbon bar, and I'm going to go ahead and select the auxiliary view tool. From there, I need to select the view that I'm going to make the auxiliary view of. So I'm going to select this view, and then it's asking me what is the angle or surface. So I can select either one of these two surfaces. See, I'm turning red because they're going to be both pulling in this direction for the view. So I'll go ahead and select, and I start moving my mouse in the direction of the view where I want to pull to. So I'm going to come up to about this area, and you can see on the auxiliary view dialog box, the scale is set to 1:1, which is pulling from the parent view. So we'll go up here, I'm going to go ahead and click, and that creates the view. Now, you can also see that there's an awful lot of overlap in the multi-view top view and also the auxiliary view, and this is where that crop comes into play. So we're going to go ahead and set up a crop of the particular view because we don't need a full view, and we're going to have to create a break line. So to do that, we need to set up a sketch. Got to create geometry first before we can actually go ahead and crop. So to do that, we're going to go and hit Start 2D Sketch, and I'm going to select the view that I'm going to start the sketch on. So the view that I'm working on is this auxiliary view. Now I'm going to go ahead and sketch the geometry. Now, as I zoom in, what you want to avoid is actually linking the geometry for the break line or any of the cropping to the particular view. So you can see I have that lock point where it's turning green, and these points are locking. I don't want that. So I'm going to start and draw a line across the visible line. I'm going to slowly work my way, making a very rough, completely non-technical line here across here. This is just my break line to show that this is not truly part of the object at all. So then I'm going to zoom out, and now I just need to work my way around the portion of the view that I want to keep, making sure that this, I'm zooming in here, making sure that this links up and creates a closed loop. Having a closed loop is what is required for the cropping tool. So with that being done, I can go ahead and hit Finish Sketch, and then I can grab the Crop tool. With the Crop tool active, I mouse over the sketch where I want to create this view, mouse over the closed loop. If it is a closed loop, it should turn red, and I select it. Then it crops off the remaining portion of the drawing. I'm going to go ahead and do the exact same thing here in my top view, because again, in the requirement and the instructions, it says not to create a full view, to make a partial view. So we'll do this again. I'm going to go ahead and create, start a 2D sketch, or start a sketch, create that sketch on this view, and you can see that's on there because those crosshairs going through that part. And now I'll go ahead and create another break line. So I'm just going to have to go ahead and work my way across here, making this look sort of rough and not part of this object at all. Working around, whoop, that's the wrong way because I want to keep this other side. So I'm going to hit escape and let's delete that line. I got to go the other direction. So we're going to go this way because it's what I want to keep, not what I want to get rid of. And then I hit finish sketch. I can go ahead and grab the crop tool again, select what's going to crop, and you can see that that has been removed. At this point, I'm ready to now start adding dimensions to this, starting with my center marks and center lines. To add center marks and center lines, I'll go to my annotation tab. I'm going to go ahead and find the center mark tools. And first, I'll go ahead and start placing my center marks. And I'm going to go ahead and center mark both the large arc and the circle. And I'm going to go ahead and do the slotted feature. Now, with the slotted feature being marked, I'm also going to do a center line through the part here. So I'm going to go from the end of the center mark to the center mark point. Now I'm going to go ahead, whoops, sorry, I got to right click and hit create. Now I'm going to go ahead and start setting up the center lines for the slotted feature and the angled feature down here. The angled feature hole is fairly simple. I'm just going to do a bisector line right through the center of the hidden lines representing the hole. To do the center lines for the center of the arc, it's a little more in depth, but not too bad. If I were to just grab that bisector line and select these 2 points, it puts it in the center of that slotted feature, and that's truly not accurate for what we want. We want to represent where this rounded edge has its center point. So to do this, an easy way, right-click on the view, go to Edit View, and then in the display options, turn on the tangent edges, and then hit OK. And what has just happened here in the view is you can see this hidden line showing up, and that's the back side or front side of where this arc comes to and then goes straight. So that is the edge. What you can do is you can then take your center line tool and you can draw directly over top of that. Again, I'm going to do this again. I'll grab my center mark tool and I'm going to draw directly over top of, linking on those green points, right click, hit create. That is now a center line directly over top of those tangent edges, which lines up with the center of that slotted hole or arc feature. I'm now going to go ahead back to my edit view and turn off those tangent edges, and that is now set up. So I can now start dimensioning this object just as I'm going to dimension any standard multi-view drawing. Now, before I actually start dimensioning, I'm going to go back and just visit the assignment and take a look here. Again, it says open a drawing file, create multi-view drawings, size A, title block, all drawing sheets in one file. It then says dimension objects using the fraction dimension style. Remember to place all center lines necessary, and then of course submit a completed PDF sheet with everything together. As I come down and take a look at this, these are in a fraction decimal style. So I'm going to make sure that I use that same fraction decimal style here in Inventor. To do that, I'm going to grab my dimension tool. I'm going to come over here to my format for my dimensions, pull down, and I'm going to go ahead and select that default fraction ANSI. Now, when I go ahead and I start placing dimensions, I can see that they are set as a fraction. So looking like that's going to work out pretty well, and I can continue working my way through this particular drawing, setting up the dimensions as necessary. Don't forget, you can always go back and revisit the object to see, well, what dimensions were given and what dimensions did I need in order to create this drawing. By doing that, you're going to ensure that you have not missed dimensions or given too many dimensions with this particular drawing. So make sure as you do that, check, recheck dimensions. This is not completely finished, but I'm sure that we can continue and work through this on your own. So good luck. Hopefully this helps you get through the start of the auxiliary view drawing assignment and find some success.